Sherman's March to the Sea, November 15th, December 21st, 1864. Sherman's March to the Sea is one of the most famous and controversial campaigns of the American Civil War. Led by Union General William Tecumseh Sherman, this military campaign spanned from November 15th to December 21st, 1864. The march began in Atlanta, Georgia, and ended in the port city of Savannah. It is often cited as a prime example of total war, where military operations targeted not only the enemy's army but also the economic and civilian infrastructure supporting it. This campaign significantly weakened the Confederacy's ability to continue the war and hastened the end of the conflict. Background: by the fall of 1864, the Civil War had raged for over 3 years, with staggering casualties on both sides. General Sherman had successfully captured Atlanta in September 1864, a critical victory for the Union as it disrupted a major transportation hub and manufacturing center for the Confederacy. The fall of Atlanta also bolstered Northern morale and helped secure President Abraham Lincoln's re-election in November 1864. He intended to cut his army off from traditional supply lines, instead relying on the land itself to sustain his troops. His army of approximately 60,000 men, divided into 2 wings, would march through Georgia, living off the land by foraging for food and supplies, while simultaneously destroying anything that could be of use to the Confederate war effort. Sherman's orders were clear. His troops were to destroy railroads, factories, cotton gins, warehouses, and anything else of military value. However, he also emphasized that his men should avoid unnecessary harm to civilians. Nevertheless, the destruction of property and infrastructure would create significant hardship for the Southern civilian population. The march begins. On November 15, 1864, Sherman's forces began their march from Atlanta. They advanced in a wide swath across Georgia, with the 2 wings of the army spreading out over a 60-mile front. The march proceeded largely unopposed, as most Confederate forces in the region were too weak to mount a significant resistance. Confederate General Hood had taken his main army into Tennessee, leaving Georgia largely undefended. As they moved through the countryside, Sherman's men destroyed railroads by heating and twisting the rails. These became known as Sherman's neckties. They also burned bridges, depots, and other infrastructure, ensuring that the Confederacy could not use these resources to support its war effort. The Union troops seized livestock, food supplies, and other goods, leaving little for the local population. Impact on the Confederacy. Sherman's march to the sea had a devastating impact on the Confederacy. The destruction of the Southern economy and infrastructure crippled the ability of Confederate forces to continue fighting effectively. Railroads, which were vital for transporting troops and supplies, were particularly hard hit. The march also destroyed crops and livestock, leading to food shortages in parts of the South. The psychological impact of the march was equally significant. Sherman's ability to move his army through the heart of the Confederacy with little opposition demonstrated the Union's overwhelming military superiority. The march demoralized the Southern population and further eroded support for the war effort. Savannah Falls. On December 10, 1864, Sherman's forces reached the outskirts of Savannah. The city was defended by a small Confederate force under General William Hardee, but it was no match for Sherman's battle-hardened troops. Rather than engage in a bloody battle for the city, Hardee evacuated his forces on December 20th, allowing Sherman to enter Savannah unopposed the next day. Upon capturing Savannah, Sherman sent a famous telegram to President Lincoln, offering the city as a Christmas gift. The fall of Savannah marked the successful completion of the March to the Sea, and it provided the Union with a valuable port for future operations in the Carolinas. Conclusion: Sherman's March to the Sea was a bold and unprecedented military campaign that played a crucial role in the Union's victory in the Civil War. By cutting a path of destruction through Georgia, Sherman not only crippled the Confederate war effort, but also sent a powerful message about the Union's resolve and military might. The march demonstrated the effectiveness of total war and marked a turning point in the conflict, paving the way for the Union's final victory in 1865.